welcome to Polish with Ray. I'm Rachel, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some items that will be available for November's polish pickup. Before we get started, if you enjoy my polish pickup videos, make sure you give this one a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe before you go. I upload new live swatching videos with new releases, favorites videos, and live streams every single week. So if you're new to Polish Pickup, basically it is a collaboration between a bunch of indie makers. They sell polish, but so many other items too. The items that I share with you in this video won't be available on the maker site. They'll only be available on the Polish Pickup site during the shopping window. This month, the shopping window will open on November 5th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and it'll be open through that next Monday, November 8th. I'm so excited for this month's theme because it is game night. So all of the collaborating makers took inspiration from their version of game night. Lots of makers were inspired by their favorite kind of games, board games, video games, and then some were even inspired by their favorite game night snacks. You'll be able to start your wish list on the Polish Pickup site the Sunday before the shop opens. So this month, that is October 31st. Happy Halloween if you celebrate. Some of the items I share with you will have what's called a cap. Basically, that means that the maker is making a limited amount of that item, and once it sells out, it's gone. If this is your first time shopping, I highly recommend you check out my description box. I'll have some helpful tips and tricks there that will help your shopping experience go more smoothly. All right, I have so many items to share with you this month, more than usual, so let's go ahead and get into the swatches. So if you haven't watched one of my polish pickup videos before, I do swatch the polishes for you in rainbow order. That way we can do some comparing as we go along. We're starting off with our reds. This one is from What Addiction, and it's called Greedy Goblins. This one's inspired by the game Greedy Goblins, which is apparently a game where you, as a goblin, collect as much loot as possible. So like gems and coins, and I totally see that in this polish. It's described as being a maroon base with micro holographic flakes, UCC flakes, a little bit of orange and purple flakes, and just a sprinkling of micro gold and green holographic glitters. This one's going to retail for $13 and will have a 150 bottle cap. So in the bottle, this one is, I can see it being perfect. Maybe it's just because Halloween is tomorrow, but I can see it being perfect for Halloween, but beautiful for the holidays and winter as well, with a deep, rich, pinkish red maroon base, and then all of those sparkling glitters. On application, this one was super smooth and easy to work with. It definitely has a jelly base, but as you can see, tons of those glitters and flakes come out on the first coat. On the second coat, we start to get a better buildup of the color. It starts to look a little bit more red, and we get, of course, even more of those dazzling flakes and glitters. So I felt good with this one in 2 coats, but if you've got longer nails, you might need 3 for this one. Here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats in the sunlight, and look how sparkly. I love the variety of the different sized flakies in this. We've got some that are really large and some that are smaller. Here's what it looks like in lower lighting, so those flakies really pop. Pictured are 2 coats of Greedy Goblins from What Addiction. Coloristic Carol brings us an item for the IPU shop this month. This is their Sticky in 5 base coat. It's a 5 free product that helps adhere your nail polish to your natural nail. It also is helpful in preventing peeling, chipping, and improving the wearability of your nail polish. So it's going to help your manicure last a little bit longer. So this one's going to retail for $8.50 and will have a 200 bottle cap. You can kind of see it in the bottle there, but I really like all of Coloristic Carol's base coats and top coats come with her absolutely beautiful wide paddle brush. I mean, base coats dry quickly anyway, but the application is even easier when you have a beautiful brush like this. And you can see it in action here. Just glides on smooth, dried down super quick. I didn't get to do a wear test, but I'm excited to try this product out more in the future. Coloristic Carol also brings us a polish offering this month. This is called Every Letter Counts, and it's inspired by Scrabble Deluxe. love me some Scrabble. It's described as being a blackened multi-chrome red with iridescent chameleon flakes. The price for this one's going to be $12.50, and it will have a 300 bottle cap. So remember, the capped items, once they sell out, they won't be restocked. They're gone. So if you really love this one, make sure you are able to shop, ready to check out on November 5th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. This polish is absolutely so beautiful. It's incredibly vampy. It's got a very rich, deep, dark base. It's coming off a little bit brighter on my camera here, but once I show it on the full hand swatch, you will truly understand the depth of this polish. And as you can see, it's just also packed, completely packed with those chameleon flakes. On the first coat, so pigmented, incredibly pigmented. I did not get any staining with this polish, but I would definitely recommend a base coat. It was super smooth, had a little bit of a jelly base, but it built up perfectly for me in 2 coats. And I think 2 coats will be wonderful for most people. So here's what it looks like in the sunlight in 2 coats, and it kind of shifts from a red to like a pink to like a burgundy, and then those flakes shift as well. Here's what it looks like in some lower lighting so you can really see those flakes shine. It almost gives me like a red to black multi-chrome effect. It's so cool and vampy. Pictured are 2 coats of Every Letter Counts from Colores de Carol. MTK Design brings us flames on the side of my face. This one is inspired by the Clue game, specifically Madeline Kahn's Mrs. White improv from the Clue movie. And this polish is described as being a bright cherry red jelly with iridescent flakies, multi-chrome flakies, and some shifting shimmers and sparkles. It's going to retail for $12, and there will be no cap on this one. Whew! So flames in the title, yep, definitely rings true. As soon as I took this out of its packaging, I said, okay, this is fire in a bottle. It's literally one of the brightest reds I have in my collection, and I'm a huge red polish lover. If you are too, you're going to really enjoy this polish. On application, this one was very easy to work with. It went on super smoothly, and it definitely had a jelly-like base, which just made it even more smooth. It started to build up nicely on the second coat, and I actually couldn't see my nail line on the second coat, but it was looking just a little bit more pink than it did in the bottle. And once I added that third coat, I got the beautiful, brilliant red I was looking for, and tons of those flakies too. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in the sunlight. Such a beautiful, bright, like cherry red color. And then in lower lighting, you get to really enjoy and appreciate those beautiful iridescent flakies, multi-chrome flakies, and a little bit of shifting shimmer as well. The flakies, I would say, shift like red to kind of a goldish color, which you can see. There you go. Pictured are 3 coats of MTK Design flames on the side of my face. This month, Cupcake Polish brings us Dream Phone, of course, inspired by the iconic game Dream Phone. It's described as being a glowing magenta to indigo duochrome nail polish. The price for this one is going to be $13, and there will be no cap. So the description just calls this an indigo to magenta duochrome, but to me, it is so much more. To me, it's like a bright, it is a duochrome, and you'll see it on the nail. It doesn't look as much like a shimmer as it does in the bottle here. Once you get it on the nail, yes, it does look like a duochrome. But in addition to the beautiful magenta indigo pigments, you can also see a lot of the flash of the base color, which to me leans very orange. So that's why I decided to put this with the oranges, because one of the strongest shifts I see in addition to the indigo is that beautiful rusty burnt orange shade. And I think Sarah, so creative. Sarah's the maker. Such a creative pairing with that beautiful blue magenta pigment and the gorgeous orangey base. I have nothing like it. As you can see, it applied super smooth, built up really nicely in 2 coats, but I could still detect just a little bit of nail line, and it wasn't as dark as it was in the bottle until I applied my 3 coats. So I would say between 2 to 3 coats on this one. Here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats and some sunlight, and you can see that gorgeous shift from indigo to magenta to that rusty burnt orange. So interesting and so beautiful. Pictured are 3 coats of Dream Phone from Cupcake Polish. And this beautiful creation from Fair Maiden Polish is called Mother May I. It's inspired by the nostalgic outdoor game, Mother May I, that the makers used to play with their neighborhood friends. It's described as 100% effect pigment. There's 0 colorant added to this polish. Everything you're looking at are special effect pigments, which is pretty amazing. And it's described as being a rose gold holographic micro glitter with iridescent illusion flakies that shift pink to orange to yellow to green. The price is going to be $12 and there will be no cap for Mother May I. So this polish, wow. Yep, you guessed it. It's a standout this month. The holographic is so intense, and I would have loved it with a holographic alone. That rose gold holographic, it's something else. I love it. But then with the added iridescent flakies that shift so beautifully, I'm sold. This one it's beautiful. So this one can be worn as a topper. So I'm going to swatch it in 3 coats on its own as well as over black for you, and I will have the black polishes and all the extra polishes that I used in today's video linked in the description. So this one definitely needed 3 coats to build up to close to full opacity on its own. I could still see a bit of nail line actually with this one in 3 coats, but I wasn't really paying attention to that. I was a little distracted by the hollow. Also, this is a topper, just wow. The flakies pop so well with this one over black. It's gorgeous either way, gorgeous. So here's what it looks like up close over black. Yeah, those flakies are something else. And you can see all the hollow speckles too. And then here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats. It kind of has a sparkly, glitzy, nudish vibe on my medium toned skin. So here's 3 coats in some sunlight. You're not imagining things. This is just as beautiful in person as it is in my video, maybe more. It's so crazy reflective. It looks like jewels. And here's what it looks like in lower lighting. This one did dry just slightly textured. I would recommend a little bit of a thick glossy top coat to smooth this one out. Pictured are 3 coats of Mother May I from Fair Maiden Polish. And Sassy Sauce Polish brings us Itty Bitty Tiddledy Committee. I can't handle the names. This brand has the craziest names. This one is inspired by Tiddlywinks, which is a game that the maker used to play as a kid. And it's described as being a dark green thermal with glowing red to gold shifting shimmer and black to red multi-chrome flakes that fade to colorless and makes the shimmer pop. This one's going to retail for $12.50. I almost said $500. Nope. It's going to retail for $12.50 and we'll have a 500 bottle cap. 500 bottle cap is an okay cap, but I have a little bit of a feeling I wouldn't be surprised if this one sold out. It is a really beautiful and super unique polish. I love the olivey murky deep green base paired with that red shimmer. It's just glowy in every lighting situation. As you can see, this one applies super smooth. It's got a jelly base. You get a ton of shimmer and flakies out with every coat. It starts to build up nicely in 2, but you'll definitely want 3 for this one, even though in its warm state, when it turns colorless, you'll never reach full opacity. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats. Look at that shimmer. It's powerful. It's packed with shimmer. And then here's what it looks like in its warm state. As you can see, it goes completely colorless and you get to really admire that beautiful shimmer and those flakies. And this one creates a super cool ombre effect with that colorless base, and then your tips being cold and the green color, just so cool. Pictured are 3 coats of Itty Bitty Tiddly Committee from Sassy Sauce Warm and 3 coats cold. I'm so excited to be sharing with you Unicorn Magic Skincare's IPU item, which is their Deluxe Cuticle Oil in the scent Sparkling Limoncello. So this one is inspired by Italy's beloved limoncello drink because games are more fun with a drink. So this one is described as having notes of fresh Sorrento lemons, cane sugar, and just a hint of lemon zest. The price is going to be $8.25, and there will be a 200 cap on this item, so that's pretty low cap. First of all, check out the packaging. Adorable floral label, deluxe gold cap. It's got a doe foot applicator that makes application super easy and precise. And then we got to talk about the scent. Oh, I am so in love with this scent. So I am a fan of citrus scents. I like sweet scents, but I don't like anything too sweet. And I typically don't like my lemon scents to be too tart either. And this one is just Goldilocks perfect. It doesn't smell like lemon cleaning products. It smells like lemon candies, and I love it. It's got great ingredients as well. A great blend of oils, including jojoba oil, avocado oil, olive oil, argan oil. It also has lanolin and vitamin E, so it'll keep your cuticles looking moisturized and hydrated, especially as we get into this colder weather. Pampered Polishes brings us The Worst Takes It All, inspired by Disney's Villainous. This one's described as being a sultry, swampy green base with a green shimmer, holographic flakes, and black flecks. It's going to retail for $12.50, and there will be no cap. So this is another standout for me this month, and for me to be saying that about a green, y'all, that's huge. Greens are hardly ever my favorites, but I absolutely love this one. It's got a gorgeous formula, and the holographic flakes are super holographic in this. You can see even in my studio lighting here in the bottle how they're already reflecting those rainbows. It's beautiful. On application, super smooth and easy to work with. Definitely has a jelly base, so it's quite sheer on the first coat and even the second, but on the third coat, I got that gorgeous, rich, olivey green base, and tons of that shimmer and lots of those flakies too. It does have the black flakies as well in there, but when the base is built up to be so dark, I find that the holographic flakies are what stand out most, and the shimmer. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in the sunlight. So sparkly and deep and dark and vampy and fun. I love this polish, all about it. Pictured are 3 coats of The Worst Takes It All from Pampered Polishes. Rogue Lacquer brings us another lovely green this month. I know, I'm as shocked as you are to hear myself say that. But Rogue Lacquer brings us Cluedo this month. It's inspired by the original UK version of the classic game of Clue. It's described as being an emerald green holographic with gold to green shifting shimmer and scattered holographic flakes. It's going to retail for $13, and there will be a 500 bottle cap. This is another one, wouldn't be surprised even a little bit to see it sell out. It's super unique in my collection, and it's done so well. The formula is gorgeous. The base color is a beautiful emerald, kind of jade-ish green, and that contrasts so beautifully with the warm gold shimmer running throughout. And there are tons of holographic flakes in here too. I mean, yeah, you'll see. I was absolutely so impressed with the formula for this one. As you can see, it goes on super smooth and opaque on that first coat. Tons of shimmer, lots of hollow. Honestly, I probably could have left it at 1 coat, but I did go in for 2, which I think will be absolutely perfect for even the longest nail lengths. So here's what it looks like in 2 coats, in some outdoor sunlight, and you see it shifting from gold to green, and you can see all of that beautiful hollow in there as well. This one was stunning. I really enjoyed this polish. Lots of good greens this month, and that's saying a lot for me. So here's a better look at that shift, that beautiful green shift. It's very intense. Both the gold and the green shift for this one are super vibrant and noticeable. And the hollow, just icing on the cake. Pictured are 2 coats of Cluedo from Rogue Lacquer. Rogue Lacquer also brings us a gorgeous topper this month called Rainbow Road, and I love the inspiration for this one. It's inspired by, of course, the Mario Kart track Rainbow Road, which, by the way, my least favorite track. Super stressful. I always fall off the edge. But anyway, this one's described as being a rainbow metallic flake topper with hollow and gold black flakes scattered in. It's going to retail for $11, and there is no cap on this one. So as you can see, this bottle, this polish is so densely packed with all of those rainbow flakes. Like, it's got every color. What stands out most to me are the silver and gold flakes, as well as the red and blue flakes. So when I look at it, I feel like a lot of holiday, New Year's celebration vibes from it. But honestly, this is a topper that could be worn any time of year, and it would suit a variety of base colors. So I'm going to show you what it looks like over several colors today. So for this application, I'm going to show you what it looks like over black, and then on the left over a sheer white polish, just so we can kind of see what both looks like, because they're both beautiful. So as you can see, like I mentioned, it's totally packed with those flakes. This is not a topper you're going to need to go in for more than one coat. Now, actually, I'm wondering if I should have tried to build this up. It is a topper, but I think this one could build up to opacity in 3 coats for sure. It's very dense. So let's take a look at it up close over white and black. So here's what it looks like over white. You can really appreciate all the different colors in there. Then here's what it looks like over black. To me, this looks so festive and perfect for New Year's. I also wanted to swatch it over a beautiful bright blue. Oh my goodness, this is lovely. Oh my goodness, I think this would look great over so many different colors, and I can't wait to test it out over everything. Pictured is 1 coat of Rainbow Road from Rogue Lacquer. And we have a new brand to the channel this month. This is J Ren's contribution for polish pickup. It's called Keep On Rollin'. It's inspired by dice games and is described as a flaky explosion of green, blue, purple, and gold shimmers. Price is going to be $13, and there will be no cap for this one. So pleased that I have this one to share with you, because, and thankful it doesn't have a cap, because I think it's going to be very, very popular this month, and for good reason. It's another standout. This is actually my first time trying any polishes from J Ren, and after swatching this, I ran to their website and was like, I have to have more because I was that blown away with this polish. Looking in the bottle, I was like, okay, it kind of gives me multi-chrome vibe, shifting from that purple to green to blue, and it's a pretty extreme shift. Maybe it's going to be super sheer. I don't know. But look. Yep, wasn't sheer. Beautiful coverage on that first coat. So many flakes. My goodness, and they just glow. I got full opacity in 2 coats, and I think most people will. What? I could have put this with the purples. I could have put it with the blues, but I did put it with the greens because in bright lighting, that's what I saw most of, was that gorgeous green glow. So here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats in the sunlight. Check out the hollow. Look at that shift. And it almost does have like a multi-chrome feel in low lighting. I see it shift from green to pink to purple to blue. It's so beautiful. Pictured are 2 coats of Keep On Rollin' from J Ren. And I have a couple contributions to share from Glisten and Glow this month. We're going to start with their polish, which is called On Thin Ice. It's inspired by the classic winter game, Thin Ice. And I love that the makers decided to put a lot of the actual game names into the names of the polishes, because I know in years to come, it's going to help me remember the inspirations, and I love that. So On Thin Ice is described as being an icy powder blue polish loaded with color shifting shimmers that shift orange to red to yellow to green. It's going to retail for $13, and there will be no cap in the US or the UK for this one. So very accurate description here. It's a soft powder blue base, and it's got some gorgeous glowy shimmer inside, and bright lighting you get a whole lot of that orange red shimmer, and then as you move your hand around in some lower lighting you can see the yellow and green as well. On application, this one was quite sheer on that first coat. I built it up in 2 coats and had a really pretty powder blue color, but I could still see quite a bit of nail line, so I did go in for a third and reached very close to full opacity. If I was looking for it, I could still detect some nail line in 3 coats, so this might be a good candidate for a blurring base. Here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in the sunlight. You can see it shift from a yellow orange shade to a beautiful red shimmer. The shimmer super shifty and glowy and contrasts beautifully against that powder blue. Pictured are 3 coats of On Thin Ice from Glisten and Glow. For the indie pickup shop this month, Glisten and Glow is bringing back their very popular glitter grabber. If you haven't used this product before, it's an amazing product that you apply over any glitter dents or flaky dents polish. You let it dry completely and then apply your top coat, and it smooths out the surface so beautifully. It almost gives like a gel-like appearance. And it has been a game changer for me in terms of loving my super glittery polishes, because I'm not a textured polish fan. I want that smooth finished look, and this gives me that. It's so beautiful. It's going to retail for $8, and there will be no cap for the US or UK with this product. So at the time of sharing this product, I didn't have any super glittery polishes to share with you from PPU, so I decided to swatch it over a Zoya Pixie Dust because I was kind of curious. I wanted to show just how effective this product was. So what you do, you can see it's super textured to begin with, as it's supposed to be. I went on with a coat of the glitter grabber, let it dry completely, which took about 5, maybe 10 minutes, and then went on with a quick dry top coat, also from Glisten and Glow. Let that dry, and here was the finished look. Do you see that? Yes. This product is a miracle worker. If you've been hesitating on trying a glitter smoothing top coat, try it. You will love it. And this month, Mermaids Lacquer brings us Beware of Winter's Cold. It's inspired by the maker's favorite game called Hades, and it's described as being a pale blue base pastel multi-chrome. It's going to shift from silver to pink to green. Price is going to be $13 for this one, and there will be no cap. So I totally gasped when I pulled this out of its packaging. In the bottle, absolutely gorgeous. I was super surprised though, because on the nail, in my opinion, looks completely different. Bear in mind, I didn't have the description quite when I applied this, or I hadn't read it anyway. So I was very surprised with how different it looks. I thought it was going to be a blue polish with a strong pink shimmer, but you'll see it's much shiftier than that. So on the nail, it's quite sheer on that first coat. We get a whole lot of that shimmer though, but I can see quite a bit of nail line. So of course I did go in for more. On the second coat, I can start to see more base color and an even stronger shimmer. And then on the third coat, I start to see more of that blue base. You can see it shifting to pink, to green. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in the sunlight. Yes, you can still see some nail line, but you have to be looking for it. But how crazy reflective is this polish? I get mostly silver, green, and pink from it, and not a whole lot of blue. Maybe you can see some blue on the sides, but just really an interesting polish. Pictured are 3 coats of Beware of Winter's Cold from Mermaids Lacquer. This month, Indie Polish by Patty Lopez brings us Senna. This one's inspired by Senna from the League of Legends, and it's described as being a gorgeous blue base with aurora shimmer and a mix of holographic micro glitters. It's going to retail for $12.50 and does have a 150 bottle cap. This is one of the polishes that if it doesn't sell out, I may be going back for a backup bottle. I don't really do backup bottles, but I always consider it, and I'm strongly considering it with this one because it's just so beautiful. It's another top pick from this month for sure. So the holographic pigment in here, just chef's kiss amazing. It is so rainbowy, even in regular lighting. I should have tried to get some video of it just inside my kitchen or something because seriously, I could see the holographic when I wasn't in the sunlight, and that always impresses me. On application, super smooth and easy to work with. Definitely has a jelly base, but has quite a few of those micro glitters and that shimmer packed in. So at 3 coats, you can, again, see some nail line, but only if you're looking for it. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats. Oh my goodness. The hollow is dazzling and the shimmer is perfect. Such a huge fan of this one. I wouldn't say that a glitter smoother is required, but I'd maybe recommend that for this polish. Pictured are 3 coats of Senna from Indie Polish by Patty Lopes. I hope you're ready for another standout. This month, Wildflower Lacquer brings us Queen Frostine, inspired by Queen Frostine from Candyland. It's described as being a deep aqua jelly base with teal undertones, packed with pink, purple, orange crystal flakes, and holographic flakes. It's going to retail for $13.50 and does have a 500 bottle cap. Another one, wouldn't be surprised if it sold out. I feel like we have a lot of caps this month. I'm sorry, y'all. Means you're gonna have to make sure you're ready to shop right when the shop opens. But this polish, if you can grab it, definitely worth getting. Love the contrast between the aqua teal jelly base and all of those sparkly, it feels like a rainbow of flakes in there, but in bright lighting, you're getting a whole lot of the pink shift. And of course, all those holographic pigments as well. It's just a beautiful mix. On application, this one was super smooth. It had a jelly base. It was quite sheer, but as you can see, it's got quite a lot of those flakes, and they come in a variety of sizes. Some are bigger, some are smaller, and it started to build up well on the second coat, but I did need 3 for this one. I didn't reach complete opacity in 3 coats, but it was another one where it was like there's so much going on in the polish. I'm not really paying attention to my nail line. If that's going to bother you though, this one might be a great candidate for a blurring base. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in the sunlight. That hollow is so sparkly, and those flakes, I don't know why I said that like that. Those flakes are so shifty, shifting from pink to gold. Oh, total Candyland vibes. Love this polish. Pictured are 3 coats of Queen Frostine from Wildflower Lacquer. This month, KB Shimmer brings us That's Taboo, which is inspired by the popular board game Taboo. Man, it's been a minute since I've played Taboo. I need to get that one out again. But this one's described as being a gorgeous teal base with glowy holographic flakes. You can see they're really packed in there. It's got a bright fuchsia shimmer that in lower lighting shifts to lavender, rose, peach, and yellow. Price for this one's going to be $11, and there will be no cap. And $11 is such a great price. I love seeing that price tag, especially when we're talking about indie polishes. So as you can see, the base color is in the teal family. I would say it leans a little bit more blue than many teals I have in my collection. And that shimmer, the fuchsia shimmer, is super bold and bright. Lots of those hollow flakes in there too, which you know is my favorite combination. Love a hollow flake shimmer polish, one of my favorite finishes. On application, this went on super smooth. It does have more of a crelly-like base, but there's a good amount of pigment on this one for the first coat. In 2 coats, I got full opacity. I think this one will be a 2-coater if your nail length is similar to mine, but if you've got nails that are longer, you may need 3 for this one. So here's what it looks like in the sunlight in 2 coats. Look at that hollow sparkle. So, so beautiful. My goodness. I love the holographic flakes that KB Shimmer uses. They're just so reflective in the sun, and they create that beautiful rainbow effect. Pictured are 2 coats of That's Taboo from KB Shimmer. This month, KB Shimmer is bringing back their classic sugar scrub in the scent Peppermint. This whopping 10-ounce tub is going to retail for $10, and it has no cap. Sorry, it's a 9.5-ounce tub. Rounded up to 10. So this smells like peppermint. I don't know what else you want me to say. It's about a foot away from me right now, uncapped, and I can smell the mint from here. It's 100% pure peppermint essential oil, and that means that when you use this, I love using it for manicures and pedicures as part of my weekly nail care routine. You're gonna get a really tingly mint cooling effect. I've used it and I love it, especially for the holidays. It is a sugar scrub, so the granules are a little on the larger side, which means a little goes a long way. You can gently massage it into your area where you're trying to exfoliate, and being very gentle gets the job done quickly. It's got lots of moisturizing ingredients in it as well, which is one reason I'm a big fan of the KB Shimmer Sugar Scrubs. It's got olive oil, shea butter, cocoa seed butter, so that as you exfoliate, it's also adding some moisture back into the skin. The color for this one is really beautiful too. It looks just like peppermint. It's a swirly white and pinkish red color. And if you haven't ordered in the past few months, KB Shimmer has added a heat sealed lid. I started to take it off and I left it on so you can see here what it looks like. It's going to help prevent your sugar scrub leaking in transit. So yes, highly recommend the sugar scrub. If you haven't tried them, they're a great price. They smell amazing and they're super effective. This month, Dom Nail Polish brings us I'll Be the Singer, inspired by the video game Rock Band. This one is described as being a deep blue jelly base with silver holographic flakes. It's going to retail for $12.50, and it has a cap of 300. Y'all, so many low caps this month. It's hurting my heart. But this one sure is beautiful. It truly does have a deep, not quite navy blue jelly base, and as you can see, it is packed with those silver holographic flakes, almost giving this polish a beautiful night sky appearance. On application, this one had a jelly-like base. It went on very smooth and had gorgeous pigmentation on the first coat and lots of holographic flakies as well. On the second coat, it started to build up to a deeper blue color, but I could still see a little bit of nail line, so I went in for 3, and that was just perfect for me. I think 3 coats will be perfect for just about everyone. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats and some sunlight. Look how sparkly those holographic flakies are. They are gorgeous. I love the simplicity of this polish. Sometimes a jelly base and a holographic flaky is all you need, and this polish made me so happy. Pictured are 3 coats of I'll Be the Singer from Dom Nail Polish. This month, Pretty Beautiful Unlimited brings us Simlish. The maker drew inspiration from one of our favorite games, one of my favorites too, let's be honest, my very favorite video game, The Sims, of course. And I believe this polish is inspired specifically by the Sims logo. So Simlish is described as being a lightly tinted medium blue jelly with holographic sapphire micro glitters, holographic microflake pigment, and a mix of 4 crystal chameleon flakes. This one's going to retail for $13 and will have a 190 bottle US cap as well as a 10 bottle UK cap. So this perfectly resembles the Sim logo to me. It's got that gorgeous mid-toned glowy blue base and so many cool components. I'm starting to associate that with the Pretty Beautiful Unlimited brand. They always put so many different pigments, flakes, glitters, everything into their polishes that creates a beautiful end result. On application, this one does have a jelly base. Lots of those glitters and flakies came out on the first coat, and on the second coat, we got to start to see that beautiful blue base. I did build this one up to 3 coats and reached full opacity. The flakes really help conceal the nail line with this one. Just so many. Like, what am I looking at here? I don't know if I should look at the flakes, at the glitters, at the hollow. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in the sunlight. You can see that holographic reflecting the sun, and then those gorgeous flakes just shifting in a rainbowy way. And here's what it looks like in lower lighting. It really is packed with those flakes. If you couldn't see them in the sunlight, you can really appreciate them in the lower lighting. Pictured are 3 coats of Simlish from Pretty Beautiful Unlimited. Pretty Beautiful Unlimited also brings us a wax melt this month. This is their wax melt in the scent Toffee and Bourbon Sea Salt Caramels. It's going to retail for $6, and that's for 6 pieces, 2.5 ounces, and there will be no cap. So this one has top notes of caramel, light syrup, and condensed milk. Middle notes of light barrel-aged bourbon, brown sugar, rich warm butter, and dark brown sugar, and then bottom notes of sea salt, light rum, and vanilla extract. So when I smell this one, I get a whole lot of that caramel. It's quite sweet and rich in scent. I can also pick up on a ton of the butter, which makes me like this a lot because I love bakery scents. And this one definitely has some of those bakery notes to it. It's super rich. Definitely gives off fall, winter vibes. It's sweet, but slightly salty. And if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, I think you're going to love this one. I've never met a Pretty Beautiful Unlimited wax melt that I haven't liked so far, if that helps you at all. And as you can see, the colors of it are very perfect for fall and winter. It's got like some orangey colors, some army green and cream. It's just very seasonally appropriate, and I can't wait to melt it. Up next from Graceful Nail Polish, we have Mermaids Quest, inspired by the board game Mermaids Quest. It's described as being a super shifty Aurora shimmer that shifts from blue to teal to purple. Price for this one is going to be $12.50, and there will be a 150 bottle cap for this one. Another one, wouldn't be surprised to see it sell out. So many caps. So this one looked a little different on the nails than it did in the bottle. I thought it was even prettier on the nails than it was out of the packaging. When I took it out of the packaging, I was like, okay, this is pretty. And then I put it on my nails and I was like, hold up. This is pretty. It's just absolutely glowy and gorgeous. And Graceful Nail Polish is a brand that I'm starting to associate with having these incredible shifty shimmers. They come out with them every single month, and I love a good shifty shimmer. So on application, this one was super smooth and easy to work with. It has like a curly like base, and as you can see, it's got like a black base almost, but it's so packed with that shifting shimmer that it builds up to opacity in just 2 coats for me. Don't be scared of the skinny brush. This bottle of polish does have a skinny brush. Those aren't my favorites, but I didn't have any issues with application. So here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats in the sunlight. You can see it just glows a beautiful bright blue. It shifts to purple. Look how vibrant it is. And as you can move your hand around, you see some of that black base as well. And if it wasn't mermaidy enough for you in bright lighting, check it out in lower lighting. Do you see the pretty shift to pink? Pink, purple, blue. Oh, this polish is gorgeous. Pictured are 2 coats of Mermaids Quest from Graceful Nail Polish. Next up from Leisha's Lacquer, we have a polish I'm going to call Intergalactic Baddie. That's not quite the name, but I'm sure you can figure it out. So this is actually Leisha's Lacquer's first ever trithermal polish. It's inspired by Metroid Samus, one of the maker's favorite games, and it's described as being a trithermal that starts out as a deep purple when cold. That's what you're looking at right now. It warms up to a red shade, and then when it's very warm, it does become clear. It's also got some gorgeous color shifting flakes that shift blue to purple to pink, as well as just a sprinkling of holographic pigment. It's going to retail for $12 and does have a cap of 250. So I would almost say that this cold state is purple, a purple leaning brick red. I feel like it's a little bit reddier than the purple I was expecting based on the description, but it is absolutely beautiful. And I think the redness and richness of that base really helps the flakies pop. You can see we've got a mix of blue, some purple. I even have some gold flakies in there, and of course that beautiful hollow too. On application, this one was very smooth and easy to work with. It does have a jelly base, and lots of those almost crushed flakies came out on the first coat. You can see it like immediately transitioning to the warmer state. I was running really warm when I swatched this, so I had quite a time trying to get it to transition to its cold state. But in 3 coats, I did reach full opacity at my nail length in the cold state. In the warm state, I could see just a little bit of nail line. And of course, in its warmest state, the colorless state, I never did reach full opacity. So here's 3 coats of it, completely warm as I could get it. Lots and lots of flaky sparkle there. As it cooled off a little bit in its kind of medium temperature state, it turned into this pretty pinky brick red shade. And here's what it looks like transitioning from that mid-temperature color to the coldest temperature. Really vampy and beautiful, perfect for fall and winter. Pictured are 3 coats of Intergalactic Baddie from Leish's Lacquer Cold and 3 coats warm. Continuing on to our more pinky purples now, Heather's Hues brings us Spymaster, which is inspired by the game Codenames. It's described as being a magenta to colorless thermal filled with iridescent flakes and glitters and a touch of multi-chrome flakes. This one, I'm not 100% sure of the pricing. If I have it, I will put it in the little caption, but I do know that it will not have a cap. So this is a beautiful bright magenta base. I do feel like it's coming off color accurate on camera, maybe slightly brighter than it is in reality, but on the nail it is color accurate. And as you can see, it is so packed with tons of components. It's got lots of those glitters, lots of those flakes. I mean, they are really packed in there. On application, right off the bat, this one was super pigmented on that first coat. It also has a lot of those glitters and flakies. I highly recommend going in for a thin coat, 2 thin coats for this one. 3 thin coats if you need it, but I think most people will be good in 2. There are just so many flakes and glitters in here that even in its warm state, I couldn't see my nail line, which is usually pretty easy to spot because of all the flakes and glitter. So here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats in its cold state, just a bright, fun, beautiful magenta shade, and those glitters and flakes kind of glow in that beautiful base. They seem to shift from copper to gold, and they're beautiful. Here's what it looks like kind of transitioning into that warm, clear, colorless state. So pretty, and I am just way impressed that I put on 2 coats of this polish and couldn't see any nail line in its warm state. That's kind of rare for me, so really enjoyed this polish. Pictured are 2 coats of Spymaster from Heather's Hues Warm and 2 coats of Spymaster Cold. Heather's Hues is also bringing to the indie pickup shop their Wits lotion, which stands for What Is This Sorcery Lotion, in the scent Gumdrop Mountains, inspired by Candyland. So many Candyland inspos this month. So this one has a scent description as being a blend of sparkling sugared berries with pink cotton candy, hints of strawberry and raspberry, and a base of sugared plum. So I really enjoy this scent. I definitely pick up on the gumdrop. So if that's a scent you enjoy, I think you're going to love this lotion. But I get a lot of the berry as well. It's not overly sweet despite it having all of those sugary elements. I think if you're a fruity scent lover like I am, you'll really enjoy this. And if you haven't tried the Wits lotion before, it's one of my favorites. It's very light and highly moisturizing. It doesn't feel overly greasy or heavy or sticky. It's one of my go-tos. I've been through quite a few tubs of these, and I'm so happy to have one in this fragrance. We have a beautiful pink from Bluebird Lacquer this month. This one's called Wind Beneath My Wings, and it's inspired by a game called Wingspan, a board game about birds and strategy. So fitting. So this one's described as being a rosy pink shattered holographic with a pink to rose to green shifting shimmer. This one's going to retail for $12 and there will be no cap on this one. Ooh, I was so excited to get this in the mail. It's another standout. You guys know how much I adore pinks and I love Bluebird Lacquer's formula, so I couldn't wait to put this on, and wow, was I impressed. On application, this one was a dream to work with. It basically applied itself. It was super smooth and went on very evenly and pigmented on that first coat. In 2 coats, I did reach full opacity, and I think 2 coats will be perfect for most people. It's packed with those holographic flakes, and although I feel like the beautiful pink base steals the show, you can also see the glowy green to pink shimmer in there as well. So here's what it looks like in sunlight. Just completely breathtaking. In the bright lighting, you get to really appreciate all of the hollow flakes as well as the brilliantly beautiful base. And then in lower lighting, you get to enjoy that stunning shift from green to pink. It's absolutely beautiful, and yes, highly recommend this polish. Pictured are 2 coats of Wind Beneath My Wings from Bluebird Lacquer. This month, Penelope Luz is bringing us Tyrande. It's described as being a neon pink with green to purple to pink shifting shimmer. The price for this one is going to be $13, and it will have a 500 bottle cap. So I actually saw swatch photos of this one in the Polish Pickup Pack Facebook group, which I'll link in the description box, but I saw the swatches before I got mine in the mail, and as soon as I saw that polish, before I saw the brand, I was like, oh my goodness. I love this. I have to get it. And then I saw it was Penelope Luz and knew I'd be swatching it. And I was like, yes, I did a little happy dance. It's an absolutely brilliant, beautiful base color and has a strong green shimmer running throughout. I will note about this polish that it did have some unmixed pigment in my bottle. You can kind of see it there. I actually didn't have a hard time working that back into the polish just by continuing to, kind of wear it down with the brush. It smoothed into the base perfectly, but I did make the maker aware of this issue, so hopefully it'll be corrected in the bottles that you purchase. This one was almost opaque in 3 coats. I could see just a little bit of nail line, but my goodness, the base is so bright and fun and bubblegummy, and the green shift, pink purpley shift is so beautiful too. Pictured are 3 coats of Tyrande from Penelope Luz. And if you haven't already given the video a thumbs up and subscribed, I can't express how much I would appreciate it. Not only is it a huge help to the channel, but it also helps support all of these amazing makers I get to work with. So this polish, we're kind of getting to our neutrals now, is Lynn B Designs Professor Thirst Trap. It's inspired by the board game Clue, and it's described as being a blackened plum base with black to red to orange shifting multi-chrome and added holographic sparkle. This one's going to retail for $13, and there will be no cap. So in the bottle, y'all know, or you should know, I love red to black multi-chrome, so was super thrilled to see this one. And it's just a little bit different than the other linear holographic red to black multi-chromes I have because the base does lean so plum. On the first coat, it definitely has a acrylic-like base, good amount of pigmentation for this kind of shade. A lot of my red to black multi-chromes are 3-coaters, but this one I got opaque in 2. It's got so much hollow sparkle. It's absolutely beautiful. So here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats. You can see it shift from that plummy black to that gorgeous red to orange, and all of those holographic pigments are just absolutely beautiful. Pictured are 2 coats of Professor Thirst Trap from Lynn B Designs. Lynn B Designs also brings us a wax melt this month in the scent Game Night Charcuterie. This one's going to retail for $5, and there is a 110 cap. So at first when I saw this wax melt, I saw it before I had the description. I was a little bit thrown by the charcuterie name. I thought it was going to smell like salami and brie, but I was really pleased to smell a lot of cinnamon and spices in it. So this one has top notes of apple, pear, and banana, and I definitely get a lot of the apple. It's got mid notes of cinnamon, sage, clove, and cardamom, and the sage, clove, and cinnamon stand out most for me, and then base notes of pecan and vanilla. It's very spicy and slightly sweet, maybe even, yeah, we're just gonna go with that. A little bit spicy, or quite spicy and a little bit sweet. I really enjoy this scent, and typically I stay away from any scent with cloves because I find that it can quickly overpower other scents in my wax melt or other fragranced products. But for me, the clove is not overpowering in this one, so I'm excited to use every bit of this wax melt. It smells so good. Night Owl Lacquer brings us Wordy Birdie, inspired by the game A Little Wordy. It's described as being a gray tinged with blue filled with black to red to copper gold flakes. Price for this one's going to be $12.60, and there will be no cap. So this one is an absolutely perfect polish to transition you from fall into winter, in my opinion. The smoky gray base kind of gives you like winter vibes, cozy blanket feelings, and then the red and orange reminds me of a fire, a beautiful bonfire. Really pretty combination, and lots of contrast between the base and those pretty flakes. On application, this one had like your textbook Crowley formula. It was super squishy, but built up beautifully for me in 2 coats. Although if you've got nails that are longer than mine, you may want 3 for this one. So in bright lighting, you get a lot of the red shift in the flakes, but then in lower lighting, as you move your hand around, you can see more of the black, some of the gold, and copper as well. So here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats. Look at those gorgeous shifty flakes. It just reminds me of like having a bonfire on a cloudy fall evening. So pretty. Pictured are 2 coats of Wordy Birdie from Night Owl Lacquer. This month by Danny Viana is bringing us a beautiful polish called When I Dream. It's described as being a pale bluish gray curly base with violet blue iridescent flakes, gold micro glitters, as well as holographic gold and silver moons, stars, and dots. This one's going to retail for $13 and will have a 400 bottle cap. So I find myself really looking forward to what this brand is coming out with each month. I just feel like every single polish they create, I never have anything similar in my collection, and I'm always totally surprised and pleased with whatever it is they release. So as you can see, it's totally packed with all of those fun glitters. I didn't have any issues getting them out on the brush. And I just think the tiny little gold micro glitters are such a beautiful complement, as well as those blue iridescent flakes. They just glow with all of those holographic shapes. So I actually decided to swatch this one 2 ways for you. One way, the way you're looking at now, is built up on its own in 3 coats, and then I also wanted to show it as a topper over a jelly white polish. So wearing this on its own in 3 coats came with a little bit of a learning curve. There's so many glitters in here, and although I did want to fish to get specific ones out with the different layers, I never had to fish to get glitters on the brush. Just sometimes maybe I had 2 moons on the brush when I wanted a star, you know what I mean. So what happened a little bit with this polish is I would get so many of those glitters out on the brush that they would kind of want to stack on each other. And when I tried to do some glitter placement, it would drag and create kind of a bald spot in the polish. So I did end up liking the way it looked built up in 3 coats on its own, but I did prefer it worn as a topper. I think it looks absolutely beautiful over this sheer white, and that just allows you to space out the glitters super evenly and honestly save some of your polish and make it last a little bit longer. So here's what it looks like built up in 1 coat over a jelly white. And then here's what it looks like in 3 coats. And you do get the really cool pond effect when it's built up on its own. Here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats. With a glitter smoother, I think this one really does require that, and a glossy top coat, and absolutely love the finished look. These holographic glitters are so reflective and absolutely beautiful. Pictured are 3 coats of When I Dream from by Danny Viana. This month, Stella Chroma brings us Don't Break the Ice. It's described as being a smooth white crelly with banging iridescent red to blue flakies and green shimmer. This one's going to be priced at $13 and will not have a cap. Oh, this one is just in the bottle, so pretty. It looks like an opal with all of the gorgeous iridescent flakies in there, and the green shimmer just pops against that beautiful, beautiful white base. On application, this one was super smooth going on. It does have more of a jelly base, so it was quite sheer on that first coat. It built up beautifully for me in 3, although I did still have a little bit of visible nail line. Oh my goodness, check out that gorgeous glowy green shimmer. Just beautiful. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in the sunlight. Just absolutely gorgeous and ethereal. And then here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats in some lower lighting. Really beautiful there too. Pictured are 3 coats of Don't Break the Ice from Stella Chroma. And the final polish I have to share with you today is an absolute stunner from Cuticle. It's called Queen of Hearts and is inspired by card games. It's described as being a full rainbow holographic sparkled, sprinkled with red, gold, and black flakes. This one is going to retail for $13 and there will be no cap. Ooh. Cuticle is another brand that I just look forward to seeing what they're going to create every single month because it's just always exciting. It's always fun and a super surprise. I almost said a huge surprise as to what they're going to come out with. I just feel like they're such a creative brand, and this one absolutely took my breath away. By the way, if you didn't know, Cuticle recently released a beautiful collection called Shattered Fantasy with the same glowy flakes that were in August PPU shade Dragon Glass. I'll link my review for that in the cards. So back to Queen of Hearts. This one had a super smooth formula that was just packed with those crushed flakes. I would recommend going in thin for your coats on this one because it does build up pretty quickly. I was pretty happy with how it looked in 2 coats. I think I could have left it there, but I did decide to go in for 3 and of course reached full opacity. Look how reflective this one is. It's like I can't look away. Oh my goodness. So here's what it looks like built up in 3 coats out in some sunlight. You get all of that gorgeous holographic sparkle as well as the red to gold to black flakes. It really does remind me of a deck of cards. And then here's what it looks like in some lower lighting so we can see those flakes a little bit better. Oh my goodness, so glitzy and glamorous. Another one that would be beautiful for New Year's. Pictured are 3 coats of Queen of Hearts from Cuticle. All right, so now I'm going to show you all of the polishes I shared with you today, swatched side by side on a swatch wheel so we can do a little bit of comparing. I'm going to show them to you in lower outdoor lighting as well as in my studio lights today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any sunlight shots. It's been super stormy all week. Wish I could control the weather. So from left to right, right here in the middle, we've got What Addiction. In the center is Coloristic Carol. That bright cherry red is MTK Design. With the glowy shimmer is Cupcake Polish. And there at the end, we have Fair Maiden Polish's contribution. Getting into our greens now with the glowy shimmer is Sassy Sauce Polish. In the center now is Pampered Polishes. With the bright glowy shimmer is Rogue Lacquer. And with a purple blue shift is J Wren. And moving into our blues, we have Glisten and Glow. In the center now is Bee's Knees Lacquer. With those gorgeous holographic glitters are Indie Polish by Patty Lopez. Then we have Wildflower Lacquer. The deeper blue is KB Shimmer. The deepest blue is Dom Nail Polish. with the flakes and micro glitters is Pretty Beautiful Unlimited. With the blackened base is Graceful Nail Polish. That purpley red shade is Leisha's Lacquer. The first magenta shade we see is Heather's Hues. Beside that, we have Bluebird Lacquer. And the neon pink at the end is Penelope Lou's. And finishing up our outdoor swatches with our neutrals. There we have Lynn B Designs. The gray with the red flakes is Night Owl Lacquer. With those fun glitters is by Danny Viana. That beautiful white is Stella Chroma. And then at the end, Cuticle. All right, and let's do it one more time, this time in some brighter lighting, my studio lighting. Starting off with our reds, we have What Addiction. With those red flakes is Colorista Carol. The bright cherry red is MTK Design. With the glowy shimmer is Cupcake Polish. And with that gorgeous hollow is Fair Maiden Polish. On to our greens now. First up we have Sassy Sauce Polish. Beside that is Pampered Polishes. That emerald green is Rogue Lacquer, so glowy. And with a blue to purple shift is J Wren. And onto our blues. We have Glisten and Glow. The slightly greener base is Bee's Knees Lacquer. With a holographic micro glitter is Indie Polish by Patty Lopez. The slightly greener beside that is Wildflower Lacquer. The blue base with the pink shimmer is KB Shimmer. The deeper blue is Dom Nail Polish. With the flakes and micro glitter is Pretty Beautiful Unlimited. The black base with the glow is Graceful Nail Polish. The reddish purple is Leisha's Lacquer. Remember, that one's a thermal. The bright magenta is a thermal as well. It's from Heather's Hues. The fun pink is Bluebird Lacquer. And the neon pink at the end is Penelope Lou's. And finishing up with our neutrals, we have Lynn B Designs. The gray with the flakes is Night Owl Lacquer. With the fun glitters is by Danny Viana. The white with the green shimmer is Stella Chroma. And then there at the end, we have Cuticle. So those are all the items I have to share with you for this month's polish pickup. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking of grabbing, regardless of whether I shared it with you in today's video or not. I have a few items on my wish list as well, so I will be putting those in the comments. And in case you're wanting to check out some more beautiful recent indie nail polish releases, here are some of my recent videos. Last week I live swatched and reviewed Bee's Knees Lacquer's newest collection inspired by American Horror Story, Red Tide. I also went live a few weeks ago and live swatched and reviewed Night Owl Lacquer's October 2021 releases. And I recently live swatched and reviewed a beautiful collection from Cuticle called Shattered Fantasy. I'll link all of those videos in the description box so you can check them out. I hope today's video was helpful for you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!